Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today guys we're doing another video for you. This is not a review or even a recommendation for you. This is actually my Premier League predictions. Now the Premier League don't kick off for another week or so, but I thought I'd get it in early for you guys. So I'm going to start from the bottom upwards, and I'm just going to go through who the teams have bought, why I feel they're going to be in that position, and so forth. But if you guys enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I will be coming out with my championship predictions in the next couple of days, I want to say. We've got a lot of videos on at the minute, so we'll just go from there. But yeah, let's start the Premier League predictions, and we're going to start from 20th, so rock bottom. And this is not biased, guys, believe you me. I've done this on a fair scale. But coming in at last place is Ipswich Town. Now, I know what you're going to say. Oh, Jake, you're a Norwich fan. You would say that. No, I do believe Ipswich will finish bottom. Yes, they have bought some great players, like the likes of Liam Delap. They've bought Ben Johnson. They've bought Murich, the goalkeeper. But yes, I do believe they'll finish bottom. And the reason being is they haven't been in this league for so long, and I just think it's just going to be overwhelming. They're going to enjoy it while it lasts, but they're just going to finish rock bottom. Coming in at 19th spot, we've got Leicester City. Now, there's rumours going around that Leicester are going to be deducted 10 points to start with because of like FFP rules and everything. They've broke those rules, and so they're going to get punished for it. There's no official that's going to happen as of yet. But I think they'll finish one from bottom. I can't really recall that many signings that they've made, so that's why I've put them in at 19th. They've been in this position before where, they've been underdogs to stay up and everything. Happened under Nigel Pearson. But I just feel they're not strong enough to compete. So in at 18th, we've got Southampton. They've made a few good signings. They've got a young coach in Russell Martin who's really good. His philosophy is really good. But I just feel like this is a step too far for them, Southampton, to stay up. There's so many better teams above them. So it'll be a struggle for them to stay up. But I do believe they'll finish 18th. So just avoiding the drop at 17th is Everton. Now, there's a lot of rumours about Dominic Calvert-Lewin's future, where that lies. Apparently, he's been linked to Newcastle. They've already lost Onana, and he was the heart of that midfield. So it's going to be hard to replace him. And obviously, Braithwaite is being linked away. Already lost Godfrey. They have got Pickford in goal, and he is a top-notch goalkeeper. But I've got to be honest with you, if they lose Calvert-Lewin and Braithwaite within the next few weeks, I don't see who they're gonna sign really. So it'll be another struggle for Everton this season. But they will be 17th. On to 16th place is Wolves. Now, Wolves have lost one of their key defensemen in Max Kilman. He's gone off to West Ham. They've got some alright players, but again, I couldn't really tell you who they've signed. So I know they've got Gary O'Neill, but I feel sorry for Wolves because recently, especially last season, they just had decisions go their way, and maybe it's going to happen again this season. I don't know. They seem like an unlucky club at the minute in time. But yeah, they will finish in 16th spot. Now, in 15th and 14th, I had a bit of a conundrum. I didn't really know who to put, and I was toying and swaying, but I came to the decision of Nottingham Forest. Now, Forest again, I can't really recall too many signings that they've had. I know they've lost Scott McKenna at the back, so that's a big loss actually because he's a unit. But they've got some good players. Again, it depends if Gibbs White leave or not. He's rock solid in the midfield, so it's just a waiting game really. But they have got Nuno Espirito Santos as their manager. Good manager. And yeah, I just think a steady 15th, is going to be where they finish. Now, moving on to 14th, we've got Brighton. They were the team that I was toying with Forest, where they're going to finish and everything. It's because they've got a new manager. Their manager is the ex-St. Pauli boss, and he's bringing a freshness to the team, I guess. Brighton have lost one or two players, but they have still got the likes of Incisio, Matoma, Estepinian, so I would invest maybe in like a striker for Brighton, and then I think you've got all the components that you need really. But until then, I have them finishing in 14th. Now, in 13th, I have Fulham. Again, I can't really recall that many signings that they've made, but they've got a good manager, Marco Silva. They've got a few good players, but yeah, there's not really much to say on Fulham, really. But I then had 12th finishing as Bournemouth. Bournemouth have got a solid team. They've got good foundations. They've got a good manager. Dominic Solanke is obviously being looked at by numerous clubs, so they've got to try and keep hold of him. They've got Semenyo. They've just got a really good team. Tavernier, however you want to pronounce it. Billing. And yeah, they've got some really good... If they can improve maybe their defence or their goalkeeper, they should have a really solid season. Now, in 11th, this is where some people might say, whoa, Jake, this is out there. I've put Newcastle to finish 11th. Yes, they've got a good team, but the owners of, Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia, they've now left the club. So I think to myself, where's the money going to come from for them to spend? You got to spend to stay in the league. I'm not saying Newcastle are going to go down or anything. They're not going to be, flirting with relegation. But, they've got some great players which they could lose, albeit Isak, for example. He's a great striker and people are going to want to buy him. So, you got to try and keep hold of your best players if you can. Bruno Guimaraes is another one. But yeah, they've got some really good players. But, it's about keeping hold of them. If they can, then they will probably have a good solid season. But I have them finishing in 11th. Now, in the top 10, so these teams will make the top half, in my opinion. In at 10, we've got Crystal Palace. Now, Palace at the end of last season, towards the end of last season, they had a really good run under Glasner, who came from Frankfurt, and I see that if they get off to a good start this season, they'll continue that form that they picked up at the back end of last season. For some reason, I don't know what it is about Glasner, but he had Jean-Philippe Mateta firing on all cylinders. He couldn't hit a barn door when Flippin Hodgson was there. So, it is all about managers, really. Yes, they have lost Elise, and they could lose Eze. That would be two big blows for Palace. But I see the recruitment, coming in where I wouldn't at Newcastle. But yeah, I have Palace finishing 10th. I think Glasner's going to have a really good season this season, and he's going to show everyone what he's about. Now, coming in at 9th, I have Brentford. Again, it all depends on what Ivan Toney is going to do, where he's going to end up. If he can stay with Brentford for one more season, I think it's going to be a good season. They've got the likes of Wissa. Hopefully, Keane Lewis-Potter makes more starts this season. And yeah, they've got Rico Henry. They've got Flecken. They've got a lot of great players, really, guys. And it's going to be Brian Mbeumo is another one. And they're going to have a really good season. I like Thomas Frank as a manager. I think he's really class. I think he's, really got a good philosophy around him. And yeah, Brentford's going to have a really good season. Now, coming in at 8th, and I weren't originally going to put this team in at 8th. I had them further down. But a couple of signings have pushed this club into 8th, and that is West Ham United. Now, they signed Nicholas Folkrug. They've got the likes of Bowen, Kudus, Ward-Prowse. They've just signed Max Kilman. There's another signing they've just made, and I can't remember who it is for love nor money. It's gone out of my head. It's gone blank. But they've signed some really good players, and I'm really looking forward to West Ham this season. I'm really interested, and I really want to see how they're going to play. The only downside for me is the manager. He wasn't great at Wolves. They got rid of him quickly. And you don't want that at West Ham because the fans will turn on you. They're such a passionate club, such a passionate support club, and their fans are amazing. They're lovely people. I've had the pleasure of, meeting West Ham fans, talking to them, and they're just so passionate. But yeah, Zuma and Flippin Kilman at the back, going to be a unit. They've got Areola, Fabianski as a backup. I don't know if Creswell's still there, but yeah, they've got so many players, and yeah, I can't wait to see him play. Now, in at 7th, this is one again where people are going to go, are you crazy? We have Manchester United. Now, Man United, as we know, are a club in turmoil. They're a sinking ship. They've stuck with Ten Hag. It's one of them at the end of the day. They've brought in a couple of players, but one of their new players, Euro, the centre-back, the young centre-back from Lille, is now injured. He's out for 3 months. Højlund's out for about 6 weeks. Rashford's got everything going on with his personal life, social life. So is his head going to be in the game? They've got no Varane. Casemiro's old. So, I don't know really with Man United what's going to happen. It's going to be another, I can suspect, turbulent season. I wouldn't want to be a Man United fan at this minute in time. I'd be worried. And yeah, I have them finishing in 7th spot. Now, in 6th spot, I have Aston Villa. I think, again, it's going to be another great season. They've got a great manager in Emery. They've got Martinez. They've got Konza. They've got Watkins. We don't know what will happen to him. I guess a lot of clubs will be sniffing around him after what he did last season and what he did at Smalley at the Euros. But they've got John McGinn. They're looking at Duran they've got Duran, sorry. My head's all over the place. But he is potentially leaving. So I think that's probably for the best. He doesn't get as much game time. But they've got so many great players, Aston Villa. And I can only see them kicking on from last season. But we'll have to wait and see. And as we move on to 5th spot, this is where it gets a bit interesting. So in 5th spot, we have Liverpool. I think the reason why they don't make top 4 for me is I don't see this manager coming in straight away and doing something. I think it's going to take time for him to actually build the team he wants to build and do things the way he wants to do it. He's never going to be as great as Klopp, but time had to move on eventually. And for me, I just see him doing okay, but not great. There's always going to be rumours about will Alisson leave, will Salah leave, will Van Dijk leave. I think if everyone stays, they'll have a solid season. I just don't think they're going to get top 4 this season. Now, moving on to the top 4, this is where it gets really interesting. People are going to be like, man, you're nuts. But I have 4th as Chelsea. Now, I know Chelsea didn't have a good pre-season, but you can't take anything off pre-season. It's not serious. People don't really care about it. It's just proving yourself and trying to break into the team if you're a youngster. But I have Chelsea finishing 4th. They've got world-class players. And if they add a few more to the team, I think they could have a really great season. They've got a new manager in Enzo Marescas. True, he's not been in a top notch, he was part of City's team, but not really well known. But I think they're going to have a really solid season. Other people that I've spoke to are Chelsea fans think I'm nuts, but it is what it is. Anyway, moving on to 3rd spot. Again, people are going to go crazy over this. I've put Tottenham. Now, Tottenham have got a really great team. They have got solid players. They have got the likes of Maddison, Son, Charleston on his day can get firing. Bentancur, Romero, Van der Ven. They've got some really great players. If they can add 1 or 2 more to the ranks, I think they're going to have a good season. Under Ange Postecoglou, they've got a really great manager. He's passionate. He wants to have a great season. And I think time has finally come to this season. And I think Tottenham, you are going to have a great season. Now, coming in at number 2 is Arsenal. Again, Arsenal, this seems to be a bit of a trend at the minute that they're always finishing in 2nd. But when you're facing the likes of Man City, it's hard to get to the top. Spoiler alert for 1st place there. No, but seriously, they've got some great talent, Arsenal, and they've got a really solid team, a great team, but it's just never going to be as good as Man City. I don't know what they have to do, really. Pray, I guess, but no. Arsenal, you're going to have another strong season. You're going to finish 2nd. I'm sorry to all the Arsenal fans out there, but that's just how I see it. And at number 1, I have Manchester City. Now, there's a lot of rumours going around that De Bruyne is going to leave Man City and go off to the Saudi League. If that happens, this could be a whole different story. I'm telling you that now, because he is the key. He is honestly one of the best midfielders to ever grace the Premier League, and I'm so glad that I managed to watch him do his thing, really. But if he leaves, well, you're never going to find anyone like him, in my opinion. Yes, they've still got the likes of Rodri. They've got the likes of Grealish, Foden, Doku, Haaland, Edison, Diaz, Ake. You know, they've got a lot of good players and great players. World-class players, guys. But you take De Bruyne out of that side, different story. Different story altogether. I think you won't see Man City as great as they will be. So it all depends if he leaves or not. But yes, guys, those are my Premier League predictions and where I think the teams will finish. Let me know down in the comments section if you agree with some of my decisions or if you disagree, and why you agree and why you disagree. But guys, until the next video, take care, enjoy the rest of your day, stay safe, take care. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye-bye.